Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the So I Heard podcast. If you guys are new to this, I'm KD. Hopefully, you guys are having a good one. Sometimes I think about coming up with a different intro. I think every week it pretty much shows up. I pretty much show up with the same type of intro. It would be exciting to have something different. I think the only time it is a little bit different is when I have Cheryl on here, my girlfriend. And yeah, that's the only time. But I always say the same thing. You know what I mean? If you guys are new to this, welcome to the podcast. Did I say channel earlier? Sometimes I mix it up. I don't know if I said channel earlier. It's because I'm used to doing the YouTube stuff also. So sometimes I say channel. And then sometimes I got to like edit it and then change it or whatever. Or if I notice right away, I delete it and then, do the whole intro over. But anyway, man, welcome to the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good one. Man, 2022 has been good to me so far. Can't complain, and I hope it's been good to you guys too. I know that, people are already talking about this year being horrible. Bad stuff happens every single year, and I enter every single year with a positive mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't sit there and be like, oh my God, here comes 2022. And I understand, some of them are just like memes for fun or whatever, saying, oh, 2021 was bad. And what was crazy was like, I didn't even feel like 2021 was really bad. I don't know, like not to me. I think 2020 was probably like the worst year in a way. But at the same time, even 2020 wasn't bad for me personally, It was bad because of what was going on in the world with COVID and everything like that. And, COVID is still going on. And then, it's coming over to this year also. But I personally, I don't think it's that bad. You know what I mean? We're getting the same amount of bad shit that we get each year. You know what I mean? There's always crazy stuff that goes on. And I remember seeing some of those wrap up videos at the end of the year of like everything that happened in 2021. And honestly, some of that stuff I totally forgot about. I thought it was like at least 2020. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was like 2019 or anything like that. But like, I forgot that it even happened in 2021. I don't know. But yeah, I see a lot of people online talking about it, like how bad the year is going to be in 2022. And I don't know if that's just like an internet thing where it's just like kind of fun to, make that joke or whatever. I guess that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying with the memes, just for fun. But yeah, man, like really, I hope everybody is having a good 2022 already. I mean, we're just a few days into 2022, but still, enter it with that positive mindset. And I think that was something that I was also saying in the last podcast episode. You have to be positive about this stuff. You having your mind so stuck on what might go wrong, you're going to focus more on what's going wrong instead of focusing on all the good stuff that is actually happening. You know what I mean? You look at some people and you see stuff going on in their life that is, maybe it's not like the best stuff that's going on in their life, but it's like there's a lot to be thankful for, and people to go and still focus so much on the bad stuff. And, hopefully this podcast, when we have these positive talks, it makes you guys think in a different way. I don't know what it's like in your shoes, so I can't really be like, oh man, you just need to stop being depressed. I can't say no shit like that. You know what I mean? You got your own issues, you deal with your own issues in your own way, but these words are to kind of motivate you and trying to get you to see what positive things are going on in your life, because there is a lot that could be going on that's way worse than situations that you're experiencing, or you might not even think that other people are going through the same thing. And dude, I'm here to tell you, how many people there is in this world. There is somebody going through the same thing as you, 100%. And it might even be like a really big number. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much stuff that goes on with people on a daily basis. Like at every damn minute, there's something going on. So, one thing, not to like get away from the positive stuff, but like watching like those killer documentaries or like those shows where, there's killer. Cheryl loves this stuff. Cheryl loves these crazy shows. I love them too, but I don't watch them as much as her. I think she's low-key obsessed with it. But anyway, watching those shows sometimes, like I'll be watching, I'll be like, damn, there's somebody trapped in the basement right now. Like I immediately start thinking it like, yo, somebody's chained up in the basement. And that's not a funny situation. Like when I think about it, I'm not laughing. Like I'm really watching the show like, damn, all of this crazy stuff is going on. And then I'm just sitting there thinking like, damn, somebody's really in the basement right now. Like, we think about some crazy stuff that we see in movies and it's like, dude, some of that stuff is written off of real events. But anyway, yeah, back to the main thing. Stay positive. You know what I mean? Focus on whatever your goal is. And we were talking about goals in podcast episodes, like the past couple of podcast episodes, talking about goals for 2022. And you don't even have to really associate it with the year. I mean, the only reason you would be is because that's the year that we're in. But maybe it was some type of goals that you were still trying to reach in 2021 that's carrying over to 2022. And you're working on it. You know what I mean? Hopefully you guys get everywhere that you want to be in life, get everything that you want. Everything's not going to happen at the right time at the time where we want it to happen. But if we keep going for it, we can get there. So that's my message to you guys. But yeah, man, if you guys are listening on, YouTube or whatever, leave down in the comment section if your 2022 has been good. I wish you guys could like comment on anything else like Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. I don't know if there's a way that you guys can, but if you can, yeah, the question is for you guys also, like, have you had a good 2022? And I hope you guys just, want to keep it that way. But yeah, bro, like, man, there's so many things that I want to change this year. And I already talked about that on other podcast episodes. I've been doing good so far. I haven't been drinking anything. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings last week, and man, I would have wanted a beer or something, but it's like it's not hard for me to stop drinking. I think it's just sometimes you're with friends and you guys want to have a good time, and then drinks are there, and you're like, fuck it, yeah, I'll do one, and then like that one turns into like different ones. So like I'm not feeling like, oh man, I gotta go get something to sip. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not even that long into 2022, and I did drink on New Year's Eve going into. So I guess I kind of did drink on this year, but it was just like that night. You know what I mean? I haven't tried to drink anything else. Gonna try to keep that going because I want to reach my fitness goals. So. Yeah, definitely going to keep that going. But yeah, man, there's so much that I want from this year. And I'm really going to work towards getting to all of that. But anyway, that's not what this conversation is about, man. We're going to talk about something that happened recently online. So there was another podcast called Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit is a podcast with like these two guys. I don't know how many guys it is in total, and I don't know if it's any women. I just know it's like Fresh and Fit. I think it's supposed to be just, mainly these two guys, but I've seen other, people on there or whatever. I don't know who's a part of the actual Fresh and Fit crew or whatever. But yeah, I've only seen like, I've seen like one episode, but not even like the full episode online on YouTube. That's where I've mainly seen them. And then I've seen like other little clips and stuff that were posted on social media, like being like Instagram or Twitter or something like that. So I'm not really, really familiar with them. But one thing for sure is I don't really like their podcast. I don't know, man. Like it's kind of comparable to the guy Kevin Samuels, the guy that's like always on the live stream and he's talking to women, talking about how to get a man and what you should be doing to if you want a man and all this different stuff like that. And it's comparable because it's kind of the same thing, but these guys are a little bit worse in my opinion, right? These guys talk down on women so much. And this is one thing that I have a problem with. It's like this happens so much to the point, like sometimes I'll have like open conversations, right? Or I'll have like little statements or tweets or whatever that I'll talk about. And obviously I'm talking about dating or something like that. So since I'm a straight guy, normally I'm talking about guys and women like together. So there's this thing. I remember a long time ago, like this girl from high school, she was following me on I think it might have been like Facebook or Instagram or something. And all I did was like make one statement, right? And I don't even think the statement was that bad. And the girl was like, "Oh my God, like you're always talking about women." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, I think the statement even was something that was like in favor for women, but I was talking about a specific group, right? And that could be the same thing that Fresh and Fit is doing, but from the clips that I've seen, it seems like they bring women on there just to bash them. And it's like, it's annoying, right? So like, say like if I do a podcast episode and I have Cheryl on my podcast, or if it was any other female on my podcast, we would have an actual conversation. Like she could speak her part, I speak my part. You know what I mean? The way that they kind of do their show is kind of like, we're talking, shut up, listen. And then the women start to talk and then they cut the women off and tell them, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're wrong or whatever. And for me, it's like, one, you're telling the women not to cut you off, but then you're cutting them off. And then you're just kind of making the questions in a way that's like kind of like blaming women for so much, right? So if I make a statement and my statement would be like, why do women do this? Normally, I post this stuff in hopes that people will start a conversation about it, and I listen to their part. I see what they put, soak it in, and then I compare it to, whatever I believe or my feelings or whatever, and we just have an actual conversation. I don't ever want any of my statements in these conversations about dating or anything to be taken like I'm bashing women. I'm always open to like the conversation. You know what I mean? Those conversations are so interesting, being someone that has had like this dating history and noticing certain stuff, or some of the situations don't even have to do with me personally, but it might be something that happened to a friend or a friend of a friend or, whatever. And yeah, like that's just me giving my opinions, but I'm never trying to bash. And then if I ask certain questions, I want people to understand that, that doesn't mean that you're a part of that group. If you don't do this stuff, if you don't behave this way, exclude yourself from that. You know what I mean? If I'm asking these questions, it's like for those specific people. And what's crazy is like normally when I do talk about these subjects, it's women that respond and then they, either agree or it's like a conversation piece where, you can expand off of it. But at the same time, I really don't ever want anybody to feel that way. So that's why I had to speak on this Fresh and Fit thing. And there's so many people that are so mad about it. But the big part that a lot of people are mad at is the fact that the Fresh and Fit guys, which are two black guys, one guy, he looks like he might be mixed. He might be, I don't know if he is black. He might be something else, but he looks black. And then the other guy's for sure black, and they basically said that they don't date black women. It wasn't even just dark-skinned women. It was just like black women. Now, you do have a preference. They did say, they were like, well, I have my preference. But the way that they said it was so disrespectful, right? This is how it started. There was this artist named Asian Doll. Asian Doll was on their show, and one of the guys was acting ass to this one lady. Supposedly, he said that the lady was talking forever, like during the show in the beginning. I guess Asian Doll came in a little bit late or something like that. He was like, yo, she's been doing this. You weren't here before. She's been doing this for a little while, and we've had to tell her to stop talking multiple times. This is what he said, right? And then Asian Doll was like, at first she was like, you mean? Like the way he addressed the lady. And then he explained it to her like she's been talking. And then Asian Doll said it again, like, you mean? And then it wasn't like no type of attitude, like, oh, mother, you mean? And you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like she was really going off. She was just like, she was even smiling when she was saying, you're mean, you know? And the lady was like, no, it's okay. It's cool, or whatever. They continue on for a little while. And then he really catches the attitude. The guy really catches the attitude. And I was just kind of like, whoa, like, I get it. Like, if she's been talking the whole time, but it's like, dude, you can say something in a certain way. Like, he was really going off on the lady, but it's like, dude, you couldn't even hear her. You couldn't hear her talk or anything like that. But then, I guess I kind of understand you're doing a podcast and you don't want any disruption, because you want everything to be focused on what you're talking about. But still, he did it in a bad way. So then he goes off and he's like, you weren't here, so you don't know what you're talking about, kind of. That's what he says to Asian Doll. And she's basically like looking like, what, like, you're that mad because I said you're mean? You know what I mean? And he really was like, he was salty. He looked like he really wanted to go off. I think if the cameras weren't there, he probably would have really, tried to go off or whatever, right? To the point where he had to walk off. She was like, you're that mad? You're grown. You're a grown man and you're that mad that I'm saying you're mean? And she wasn't saying it in like no wild, crazy way or anything. He was wrong. He was going off on the lady like in a certain way, like kind of like shut up. Like kind of like I don't know if he said shut up, but like it was an aggressive way, right? So he told Asian Doll she can get out too or whatever. And he was like, yeah, we're not going to be disrespected on our podcast or whatever. And I get it. You're supposed to have some type of order in the studio when you're doing your stuff. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you don't have to act an ass. So that's the first part that happened. And then people on the internet went and started digging up past like little clips or whatever from their show. And like I said, I don't watch them like that. I'm not subscribed to them on YouTube or anything. So I don't know about a lot that goes on. I think the only episode I really watched was the one with DJ Academics. And again, that was another episode where they were kind of just going off on women. But yeah, like the clip was them basically talking about some type of online dating thing called Black. I guess a type of dating app for like black people or whatever, right? And they were like, nah, we don't use that. We're not into the darkies. And then he's like, we're not into the night riders. And it's like, whoa. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, even if you're a person that doesn't date black women, for whatever your reason is, and I'm not one of those people that feel like, oh, you're black, so you have to be with somebody black. I don't believe in that at all. Be with whoever you love, right? But you didn't have to say all that crazy shit talking about darkies and night riders. Like what kind of shit is that? That's stupid. And then they kind of tried to come back and be like, well, of course we love black women. It was just a preference thing. Like if a woman wants to go with a guy that has a certain amount of money, that's a preference. And then it's like, bro, like, and that's a lot of what they talk about. Like I do get it. Like it gets brought up in conversation, but about like the money thing, but they immediately went to that. I was just like, yeah, if a woman wants to date a dude with a certain amount of money, that's her preference or whatever. So we have our preference. We don't date black women or whatever, right? And it was just still like, yo, like y'all doing too much. You're doing too much. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not one for like fake apologies. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing at this point, they're pretty much like, we stand by what we said, it is what it is. We didn't mean it a certain way or whatever. So they're not really apologizing for anything. So like, yeah, if they really don't feel sorry about it, I'm not going to be like, oh man, y'all have to apologize. No, I'm not going to say that. I hate fake apologies. I hate when they force people to do it. And it's like, yo, you don't even know if this person is really sincere about it. You know what I mean? The media is forcing them to apologize publicly, So with them, it was just like, yo, you guys did this in a weird ass way, like in a fucked up way. And now everybody's talking about it. It's getting to like big name celebrities that are talking about it, Joe Budden. And then now, I seen something earlier where Fresh and Fit was doing a live stream and people were roasting Joe Budden for what he said, defending the black women. And that's where it's weird, right? So Fresh and Fit, the videos that I have seen, I always go to the comments. From the clips that I've seen to like that one episode that I've seen, I went to the comments every single time. And it's so many people that ride with them. And it's crazy. I totally get that you have a fan base. But at the end of the day, don't have your fans believe in some stupid ass shit. You know what I mean? On this podcast, I talk about me even being in the wrong sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I might not admit that in the moment of an argument because I didn't really sit there and think about everything. So yeah, I still feel like I'm in the right in that moment. But when it really comes down to everything, I'm not acting like I'm Mr. Perfect. And that's how these guys act on Fresh and Fit. So they had the podcast. I think the podcast might have been yesterday or something. I looked on YouTube and then I looked up their name to see if anything else happened. And I guess they were like, oh yeah, our fans are in the live stream basically roasting Joe Budden. And it's like, bro, why do you have your fans doing that? I get it. You want to feel like you're right. You want to feel like you said all the right stuff or whatever. But at the end of the day, how can you not see how what you said is stupid? Or what you said is stupid. And sometimes I've been against popular opinion, like a cool amount of times. I've been against a popular opinion. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you guys are literally saying some stupid stuff. Like, you should have never said what you said. You don't fuck with the darkies. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, you can say like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey, me and him, we don't really date black women. Say something like that. And I'm not saying you got to be super sensitive with people and everything. I think that's an issue with a lot of stuff these days. You can't say what you want to say. But the way you said it, and then you have a podcast, and then you bring women on here. One, you talk shit about the women every single time, I'm sure. That's the only thing I've seen of any clips of them is them just like bashing women. And I'm going to say how they look, right? I'm going to say how I take the Fresh and Fit dudes. And I've had this since day one about them. Like day one of seeing them. I was like, these dudes act like dudes that was getting roasted back in the day by the girls. These are the dudes that was getting made fun of. And it feels like, oh, now we have a following. Now we have a podcast. We're somebody. So now we can just say whatever the fuck we want to say. And I get it. I love being truthful with myself and saying whatever I want to say. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to say no craziness like what they said or act the way that they act. You can still, nobody cares about y'all not dating black girls. Black girls probably ain't feeling y'all anyway. You know what I mean? Especially after you talk crap. They don't care who you date. They just know that they ain't about to spend their time with you. But to come out and say it the way that you said it was just stupid. And they seem like hurt ass dudes that have been hurt. The way that dude walked out on the part with Asian doll, bro, he was hurt. You could tell he wanted to go off, but he couldn't go off. In that moment, he totally felt like he didn't have no control, bro. And that shit right there was eating him alive. You could look at his face. Go look up the video, dude. Fresh and Fit with Asian doll. And look at his face when he got frustrated. And she shut him down so good. She shut him down when she said, you're this grown and you're mad because I called you mean? And dude, he like threw a fit about it. Like he literally looked like somebody's preteen that's mad and you tell them that they can't use the internet. Like, you feel me? Like he looked so childish. You know what I mean? And I get it. Like, dude, sometimes you mad in the situation or whatever, but at the end of the day, he went off like a brat. He went off like a brat, bro. And it was like, dude, nothing about that was mature, and nothing about that was cool. Especially you're doing this podcast, you're supposed to have a level of professionalism. You know, nobody. I mean, they are recording it visually, but it's like, bro, if the lady was really talking that much, you could have like tapped her and be like, yo, come out of the room. You know what I mean? That's it. You ain't even had to go off, do all that extra shit. But yeah. And then other stuff that I've seen on their podcast is them kind of acting like, oh, if I'm the guy that's making money, you got to do whatever the fuck I say. And that's weird. That was something that I have never liked with that mindset, right? I don't know if it's because I've always watched my mom or like my grandma or like other women, like, you know, be strong and do their own stuff and everything and not really be, you know, dependent and everything, that has me thinking that way. And that probably is what it is. But honestly, I don't feel like, oh, because I have a job, you know, I have to make all this, like, I just have to be in control of everything. And that's kind of how they made it sound. Like, it sounds like they have the mindset of, oh, okay, like, yeah, if you at home, make sure my shit is cooked. Like, like, whoa, bro. Like, hey, maybe sometime you can cook, or like just other different stuff. It's like, dude, they're not the desirable men. And what it seems like, yo, if anybody messes with them, they're messing with them just because they have a following. They're kind of known, and that's it. It'll pretty much just be like one of those situations. Not trying to judge a dude's looks or anything, but they really don't look like dudes that pull. They don't look like dudes that pull. Look like they have no game whatsoever. Like, bro, they seem like just straight weirdo dudes. You feel me? And it's just like, yeah, I have a podcast, so you have to listen to me. And then once you think about it, it's like, dude, you have these women going onto your podcast. It's pretty much like this transaction, right? It's like the women are going on there because, you know, they'll get like women that do like OnlyFans or do porn or something like that, and they'll have them on there, and then they'll just start like bashing them, right? And the women are going on there because it's like, yo, if I'm on this show, I can promote my OnlyFans, because they'll talk to the women. Who are you? Okay, I'm such and such. And then, you know, they might promote their OnlyFans name or whatever like that, right? And that's beneficial for them since this podcast has a following. And to come up with more episodes, the podcast needs them also. So it's like, you know, a transaction type thing. And it's like, dude, if it wasn't for your following, these women probably wouldn't even know who you are. And I know a lot of people recently, when this whole issue came up, they didn't even know who Fresh and Fit are. And I'm not saying like, dude, Fresh and Fit are more known than me. But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you guys are trying to act like y'all are just those guys. You're trying to act like you're that dope. And that's why now I feel like everything is going to collapse. I feel like every single thing is going to collapse because you have big name celebrities that are now bashing y'all like crazy. You can hop online and do your live streams and everything afterwards and act like it's not affecting you, but you know it is, bro. You can't sit there and try to act tough. You got all of these people that can easily shut down your whole shit, telling you that you're acting stupid. And it seems like they kind of want to go that tough guy route. Like, oh, we don't care. We just stand by what we say. Like, all right, that's cool, whatever. But it's so many people talking about it. I don't think they're going to let this die down. Like right now it's maybe silent a little bit because it's been talking about the last couple of days. So it's a little quiet right now. But then, bro, you guys are literally making live streams kind of talking about it and bashing the people that went against y'all. So it's like, dude, it's going to keep getting brought up. No, if Joe Budden hears about what you guys said on the live stream, then he's going to talk about it. Joe Budden is bigger than y'all. And then all of a sudden you're going to have even more people on your ass. It's crazy. It's crazy. All because y'all wanted to say some stupid stuff. Their podcast is weird, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like, if you look at, like, Kevin Samuels' podcast that he does, or I don't even know if that's a podcast or if it's just these random live streams or whatever, but you see the women go on there. These women, you know, they're not celebrities. They're not trying to be known or anything. Well, they might be trying to be known because that's the only thing for me that makes sense of why people are still calling Kevin Samuels. These women will literally call Kevin Samuels, call for advice, but it's like, oh, Kevin Samuels, I've been watching you forever. And then it's like they go on there and then they get offended by what he says. And he says offensive stuff to women all the time. So it's like, why are you guys still calling, dude? Like, it doesn't make sense. You know, so the only thing to me that makes sense is like, okay, maybe you're hoping you're going to be on a live stream clip and then people get to notice you or something like that, because it's like, it really doesn't make sense. You know, I could see if you called and then he told you all this stuff and then you just didn't get offended. You were just like really soaking it in, you know, but almost everybody gets offended by what he says. He goes in almost all the time. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there might have been a little, like, there might be some things I agree with that he says sometimes, but for the most part, like, yeah, he just be going off and be saying like random stuff about women. Like, a lot of times it doesn't even make sense, like the points he's trying to make. But still, they're giving these dudes some type of fame, obviously. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. The same type of people commenting in Kevin Samuels' comment section are the same people that are commenting on Fresh and Fit. And actually, I believe there's an episode where Kevin Samuels went on Fresh and Fit. And it was just crazy. And you see the difference too, right? So when you see the Fresh and Fit guys talking to a man, they don't cut them off. Like, they show respect when they're talking to a guy. When they're talking to women, bro, they're like doing the most disrespectful stuff. And I get it, like, dude, some people got tempers. They get mad. If they're in an argument, you know, you might just start arguing with whoever and you say some crazy stuff. But it's not even that. This is your business. You have a podcast. Why are you bringing these women on here to just bash them? Well, at this point, I guess I kind of get it. This is what your fan base is. Because if you look in them comments, it's just like, it just looks like a whole bunch of hurt men that are just like, man, now I'll never trust a hoe again. Like, whoa. Like, all right. Like, nobody's telling you have to date these OnlyFans women, but all right, you know? And it's just, it's wild. Like, I don't know how they end up that way. I don't know why they think that it's okay to talk to these ladies like that, or I don't know, man. It's just, it really is crazy. And then especially Asian dog. She's from Chicago. She know people. I ain't saying nothing to Asian doll. You know, I'm saying hi, bye. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying nothing crazy to Asian doll, but I don't even think she took it that way. I think she was just like, all right, let me get out of here. She said goodbye to everybody else, politely, walked out, and that was it. She didn't seem turned up about anything. He's the one that's having a temper tantrum. And it's like, bro, you have this podcast and you're telling people how they should be. But then you're acting wild like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's on video. You weren't that frustrated. Like, the evidence is there. They didn't really go off on you. They didn't really do anything to really provoke you. And you was serious. You was really mad. You know what I'm saying? Same thing like when DJ Academics went on there, right? So when DJ Academics went on there, they had a whole bunch of women that were on OnlyFans. And if you guys aren't familiar with OnlyFans is like, you don't have to be on there like taking your clothes off. OnlyFans could be like people giving like classes on business or whatever. It's like you pay per class. You know, they set it up as a video and you could pay like $10 to unlock that video. And then that's a seminar class. That's how some people do it with business. But then you have the majority of people which are posting pictures and videos, whether it's like nude pictures and videos. And then you have some people that were posting like sex and stuff on their OnlyFans also. So some of these women, I guess they have a mixture of stuff. Some women are having sex. Some women are just posting nudes and different stuff like that. And these women were on there talking about that. But what's crazy is every time you see a Fresh and Fit clip, the women are never talking right then, right? And then as soon as they do, it's like the guy's just like, no, 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 that's unacceptable. Like, no, like it's like, bro, let her talk, So, DJ Academics was going off on these women and basically being like, OnlyFans can only last so long. What are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, are you, what are you doing with yourselves or whatever? What are you going to do when OnlyFans money dries up and all this different stuff? And some of these women were saying that they were taking the money and they were investing it in other stuff, whether it be like real estate or be, a business or anything, right? And the Fresh and Fit guys and DJ Academics were kind of acting like the women were just making up lies. And it's like, dude, like, what do you want them to do? Like, have some paperwork on the table or something? Like, if they're making money from OnlyFans, and obviously, and look, you found these OnlyFans girls. Like, you didn't just, like, where did you get this group of OnlyFans girls from? They must be some type of known, you know what I'm saying, for you to have them on your show. They're not just having the bottom of the list OnlyFans girls on here. They're having, like, some that are making a cool amount of money. So why wouldn't you believe that these women are using the money for another business or for anything else, whatever they want to do? You know what I'm saying? Why are you not believing it? Oh, because they're women, you feel like they can't possibly be doing it? You know what I'm saying? And one thing, I'll be honest. When OnlyFans first came out, I had a problem with OnlyFans. And not really even a problem. But my issue was, it was with the people that started doing OnlyFans. And the reason I had an issue with those people is because there were so many people. Cam girls have been around forever. Porn stars have been around forever, right? There was a point where the cam girls and porn stars were always getting called hoe. They was always talked about in a bad way. But then as soon as OnlyFans came out, first it started with Snapchat. Women started posting that type of stuff on Snapchat. And even when it was Snapchat, it was a whole bunch of women saying they would never be no Snapchat girl. They were saying that. They were talking crap about the women that was doing Snapchat. OnlyFans came and they found out how much money people were making on OnlyFans, and all that moral shit went out the window. That was my problem with OnlyFans, because it was like a whole bunch of people that were talking like they were high and mighty are now on OnlyFans doing stuff. And some of the people, they ain't just on there posting pictures of their breast. They on there having sex. Like you're at that point. Like you can't turn back from that. Like, bro, you're literally online having sex. But a couple of years ago, you was talking about you would never do that. And it's not just a little bit of people. It's a lot of people doing it now. It's to the point where you even have celebrities making OnlyFans. And it's like, you don't even need the money. So it must be good money to the point where they're all doing that stuff. So now, like, really, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I never really cared, but it was just like, yo, like, it's a whole bunch of people that threw their morals to the side just because OnlyFans is a thing now, And I get it. I'm sure a lot of them are making money. Some people posted that OnlyFans changed their lives. I even seen somebody said that they paid off their student loan debts because they started an OnlyFans. So it's working out in certain ways, but that's what I'm saying. People are using this money for other stuff also. So on Fresh and Fit, the way that you have a business, the way that you have a podcast where you're supposed to be talking to people and trying to have people to act in whatever right way you believe, you're on there and you're acting like these women can't be doing anything else other than having sex on OnlyFans and posting nudes. It doesn't make sense. It's like, yo, like, why are you acting that way? You know what I'm saying? They really just seem like hurt ass dudes. And it's sad. It's sad. And really watching everything that has happened this week with Fresh and Fit, it really had me thinking, like, I was like, dude, I hope people do not think my conversations on relationship type stuff is me bashing. It's just like, dude, I only date women. So if I ever give anything from my experience and it's me talking about certain stuff that women do or have done, that's why. I ain't never dated anything else but women. So that's where my experience is going to come from. That's where the conversation is going to come from. Or if it's something that I see online, and most of the time it is women talking about guys, that's how it happens. I'm never trying to bash women at all. It's normally some type of question that I have or something I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel their podcast episode should be. Bring those women on there, ask them questions about whatever you want to ask them questions for, about, but at the same time, get their actual answer. Don't cut them off. Let them answer. Run that shit like a TV show, basically. Let them have their part to explain everything, and then you answer on it. Especially if you're on here yelling at women not to talk or cut you off. As soon as they say something, say like the Fresh and Fit guys say something, and then a woman has a thought, right? And she's like, oh, and then he's like, no, hold on, wait till I'm finished. Like, it's like, they do it on TV shows also, but they do it in a more polite way. Like them, they do it like they're yelling at children. And it's like, dude, the Fresh and Fit dudes, y'all are clowns. Y'all are really clowns. Y'all are clowns, bro. And that's the best way to put it. It's just like, dude, I don't know what's going to happen. In a way, I feel like the way that they act and the way that everything is going, I feel like it's going to get to the point where YouTube is going to have to intervene because you have big names talking about this, right? So, a lot of these big names, they do have YouTube channels or whatever, or they can reach out to YouTube and be like, yo, like, have you seen the way that these guys are acting? You know what I'm saying? A lot of the crazy stuff that goes on YouTube goes under the radar from like really, really big names. Like, you know what I mean? It normally just sticks to like the YouTube community, but this right here is something that everybody has been talking about. Big name pages that are on Instagram and Twitter and stuff are talking about this. And it's like, bro, you guys are wild. I don't know where they come from with this stuff. Like, I mean, I guess I get it. Like I said, it's like, it's their fan base. They found out that people are interested in it. They watch it. So it's like, if it's not broken, why fix it? But it is broken, Yeah, I couldn't believe it, dude. When I saw that video with them talking about not dating black women, it was crazy. Some people were mad at the fact that it's just like they said that they don't date black women. I'm like, bro, he called black women night riders. Like, that doesn't make sense because one dude, he's dark. He's really dark. You know how like back in the day they used to be like, yo, Wesley Snipes was black? Like, no, this dude is darker. Like, it's like, dude, like, I don't understand how you're trying to call women night riders, and it's like, dude, you're night. You're there. You're midnight. Like, not trying to make fun of, I'm just making a comparison. Like, bro, like, you can't, how are you saying that, And the whole preference thing, I do understand that it is a preference. That's what y'all choose. I've dated outside of my race also. So it's not like I'm bashing them for dating outside of their race. And like I said, love whoever you want to love. But at the end of the day, you don't have to talk crap like that to black women. Even if you were, making a joke, even then you're not really making a joke because you really don't date black women. And that's why I think the one dude couldn't handle how Asian Doll was acting. Now, Asian Doll wasn't acting an ass. Asian Doll was calling him mean. She was staying calm. He was trying to say, I am calm. Like, bro, you're black and you're turning red, and she handled it in such a good way. She walked out of there, and guaranteed she walked out of there calm, and he was just in there just heated, mad. He looked so mad. He looked like he probably wanted to swing at a wall or something. You know what I mean? Like, bro was just on that level of just stupid, And, yeah, I don't want to say like, I was like, dude, I think their channel could get deleted if it becomes a big enough thing. And like I said, I don't like forced apologies or anything like that, but I want them to understand, like, bro, like, y'all are two corny ass dudes to come out of nowhere and say what you said, the way that you said it, And then it was funny because, like, the one dude asked, not even that, bruh. They said if you can use black if you want to date a whole bunch of like dude, they said like a couple of like some type of ghetto names or some shit like that, and it's just like what, in that when they said those names, it made it seem like they were basically saying they feel all black women act that way, right? I haven't seen the black app. I haven't seen what kind of people are on the black app, but I'm sure it's not a whole bunch of ghetto ass people. You know what I'm saying? One, they said they don't use it, so they don't know. I don't know either, but I'm saying it can't be all ghetto people. And for them to act that way, it's just ridiculous, dude. It really is. And Lil Rel, a comedian, posted about it and was talking about them and some other people. And it's just like, bro, like, one, you might end up getting big name people wanting to interview you guys to kind of find out what the hell is wrong with y'all. Or these big name people are going to talk about their concerns more, and it's going to become a bigger thing. And you might have shot yourself in the foot. Even though you do have a following, your following ain't that big just going to save you like that. I don't think so. You guys are clowns. And it was just stupid stuff, man. I had to talk about that because it was something that was just crazy. And the day that it happened, you know, I was really thinking about it, and I had like conversations with Cheryl about it and everything. And I was just like, man, like these fools are weird, you know? Their podcast itself is weird. It's not like you guys really like, okay, for example, right? Take Adam 22. Adam 22 is a white guy, but like he has a lot of black people on his podcast. He has a No Jumper podcast. You guys might have seen it or heard of it. He has OnlyFans girls on there, porn star girls on there, women that are music artists or whatever. He lets them talk. He's not doing disrespectful stuff or cutting them off. That's what I'm saying. I'm using him as an example because you can see the difference on how a professional podcast is. Now, Adam 22, like, you know, they talk about a lot of wild stuff, but it's still handled professionally compared to theirs. Like, yeah, maybe their setup is professional and everything, but the way that they do it is just crazy disrespectful and like wild. And I hope it's to the point where women don't go on there anymore. That's what needs to happen. Women need to stop going on Fresh and Fit, because that's basically how they're getting their views. They're bringing women on and they're talking shit about women. That's it. Like I said, I don't even know if they have podcast episodes where it's guys on there. The only one I think I really remember with just a guy by himself was the Kevin Samuels one. Every single other one that I've heard of that has a guy, I think I've seen like women in the clip and like the thumbnail of the video. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Women need to stop going on there. Don't go on Fresh and Fit. You know, do somebody else's podcast where they're going to let you talk and really get your voice out there or whatever. Just because Fresh and Fit is allowing you to come on here and you're thinking like, oh, other podcasts haven't asked me to come on here, man, just wait it out, because these fools are going to bring you on here and ambush you and say a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And, yeah, I don't know. Like that, this is one situation where I kind of want to see something happen. Because it's just weird. Like, and then they're just spreading that shit to their audience, you know, especially if your audience is bashing Joe Budden and all he did was make a post that was low key, like, you know, in favor for the women, which you did. You was acting wrong with the women. How was Joe Budden in the wrong? You know what I mean? The only thing you can kind of say is like, oh, Joe Budden, you was cheating on girls on the back. Like, but still, it's like, yo, y'all are just acting like some weirdos. So I don't know, man. If you guys have heard of any of this, like I said, if you guys are listening on YouTube, please leave the stuff down in the comment section. Check out all of my socials. I want to know what you guys think about this. Like, it's in the news still. I don't know if it's like news, like, you know, I don't think it made it to Fox or anything like that, but still at the end of the day, you know, it's being talked about. And, you know, you can see it on Instagram, you see it on Twitter, maybe Facebook also. I haven't seen it on Facebook, but I'm not really on Facebook like that, but still, it's on there too. And yeah, it's just it's crazy, man. I don't want them to be passing that information around, like just think having like a whole bunch of dudes thinking that it's okay to just act like women are just kind of like a property thing, and just acting like you could just talk down to women all the time. Like, and really, I don't want you guys to think about, like, when we have these conversations, or if you guys were here for any of the other conversations of me talking about dating and stuff, I don't want y'all to think that I'm on that level that they're on. It really is just like, yo, this is something that I've heard of, or I experienced it personally, and then this is my thought on it. That's pretty much all it is. It's a conversation, but like going into the stuff that they're doing, that's just straight up disrespect. But thank you for listening, man. Hopefully you guys like this one. I understand it was just pretty much on that one topic, but it was something that I was really thinking about. And I didn't even know if I wanted to make this episode, because normally I don't like to make podcast episodes that are kind of something that everybody is talking about. You know what I mean? I kind of want to do my own thing, but it was something that I was really thinking about the other day when it happened, and it was posted on social media. Yeah, I didn't really like them guys before, just from watching that one episode, and then now I really don't. I don't know how they have a channel where they're really trying to tell people how to live life and stuff like that. It's funny to me. But anyway, man, thank you for listening, dude. Like I said, check out all of my social stuff. I'll leave it in the description section, so feel free to click. I got my merch stuff, got this podcast, got my YouTube. Thanks for everything. You guys stay dope, and I will check you out later. Stay tuned for another episode next Monday, always dropping at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Let's go. Thank you for listening. You guys stay dope. Peace.